Now, Josh. Dun dun dun.
Got some bad news, man.
Kawhi Leonard. Break it down for us, Joshua. What's going on?
So I've known about this for a while, man. And turns out the NBA has, because I don't understand why this investigation has been drawn out for over a year now. And it seems like it's just going to keep going for, hopefully it only goes for another month, because this investigation needs to be done by next season. Like, it needs to be. But I mean, this is just ridiculous, man. No one's really talking about it. I'll dive right into it real quick. This is the scenario here. This is more of the easier breakdown of what Shams is giving us, and I'll go ahead and throw in a couple of my points that I have and the information I know. So, the LA Clippers and the Raptors had a trade centered around Kawhi Leonard, which will not be completed until the NBA investigation into whether the Clippers circumvented the salary cap is completed. The Clippers and Raptors agreed to a trade back on June 30th. We've talked about it before. We have a video on this channel if you want to go check that out. It's in the channel. The Clippers, in a statement to ESPN on Thursday, said the trade can only be finalized if the Raptors ownership group assumes the risk of penalties related to Kawhi's contract that could theoretically result from the ongoing investigation. The Raptors, meanwhile, issued their own statement saying they would wait for the league's findings rather than assuming that risk, but they remain eager to bring Kawhi back to Toronto to look forward to a swift resolution for our players and organization and fans. The NBA's investigation into the Clippers is focused on whether they circumvented the salary cap by funneling money to Leonard through his $28 million endorsement deal with now a bankrupt green banking company, Aspiration, which has also had a $300 million 23-year endorsement deal with the actual franchise itself. Team owner Steve Ballmer, who invested $60 million in Aspiration, has denied he had knowledge of Leonard's deal. Leonard and his uncle, who is his agent, which, fun fact, I'll talk about it later, is not his agent anymore. Kind of sus. And his business advisor, Dennis Robertson, has been interviewed by investigators as part of the league's inquiry, told by ESPN. There is no timetable for the conclusion of the NBA's probe, which is being performed by outside counsel, but an NBA spokesperson on Thursday told ESPN that league experts, the league expects the firm to finalize its work in the coming weeks. Hopefully, the Clippers on Thursday again said that they did not funnel money to Kawhi Leonard through Aspiration, and that they were victims of fraud initiated by Aspiration's co-founder, Joe Samberg. Fun fact, the guy that runs Aspiration, the co-founder, Joe Samberg, has been convicted and sentenced to 14 years in prison for fraud. So just keep that in mind. And they also said, we recognize the uncertainty this has created and that the impact had on our team, our fans, the Raptors organization, their fans, and the players whose futures remain affected while this process continues. The Clippers said in a statement, we remain confident that when the facts are evaluated fairly and thoroughly, the NBA will confirm exactly what we have from the beginning. We have not done what we are accused of doing. And then going back, like I did say, Kawhi Leonard, his uncle, has always been his agent since day one, even during the Spurs years. And as in recent talks, Kawhi Leonard now has a new agent. He has finally split from his uncle, who had been his longtime agent. So, Zach, lot of stuff to take in there, but what's your thoughts here?
Well, I told Josh off the podcast, I don't know too much about the nitty-gritty details of this, just kind of the headline of what's going on. So I know the league is now, they're kind of having the trade on hold until they potentially figure out what's going on. Is there a world where this actually gets rescinded, this trade? What would happen? Would Kawhi just go back to the Clippers and then Brandon Ingram and all those picks and Gravy Dick, they're back at the Raptors?
I don't think the trade gets rescinded because as far as I know, I think the Raptors knew that this was going to happen, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of messed up that the league decided to come out and say this after the trade had happened. But I forgot his name, but one of the Raptors owners, I forgot his name, but he's actually a part of the NBA Board of Governors. And usually the Board of Governors are notified about certain things like this, or they have knowledge of things like this. So I do think the Raptors knew that this was going to happen, most likely. And that guy actually just recently sold his stake for the Raptors as well. So he's definitely trying to get out before all this goes down. So, but he already sold his stake as far as I know, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I don't think it gets rescinded just because I feel like the Raptors already knew this was going to happen. Regardless, I don't think the Clippers should have any power or say in the fact that the Raptors should take any of the penalties. In my opinion, that does not make sense. If David Stern was the commissioner in this standpoint, well, first off, the trade would have never happened. The investigation would have already been done at this point. This type of investigation should have been done very swiftly and quickly, because this can literally ruin the league. This is really bad. This is like literally like college football on steroids, because if it's true that they were circumventing and giving Kawhi Leonard money under the table, I mean, this is just really bad for the NBA. And I've seen some owners like Mark Cuban defend what's his face, the owner of the Clippers, Steve Ballmer. I've seen people defend Steve Ballmer, and to be honest with you, I'm not defending the dude. First of all, he's a billionaire. He's one of the richest people in America, first and foremost. This dude owns Microsoft, all right? Keep in mind, or did. I think he might have sold his stake. I don't know. But dude is from Microsoft, so I could care less at that point. Also, years ago, when he took over being the Clippers owner, he got in trouble and fined back in like 2016 when he was trying to circumvent the salary cap by paying DeAndre Jordan under the table. They got fined back in like 2015, 2016. So to me, if dude did it once before, what's going to keep him from doing it again with a even better player in Kawhi Leonard? I mean, at the end of the day, man, you've done it once. I don't see why you wouldn't do it again. I do think it happened. I think the Clippers are just trying to get out of this, but I don't see why. I don't see why the Raptors would get afflicted with this, because at the end of the day, for the NBA to take this long and let this trade happen, even with all the repercussions, that's just messed up, especially like telling the Raptors last minute, and hopefully their ownership knew about it before taking the risk. But regardless, man, the Clippers deserve all the penalties at the end of the day. Raptors should not receive any penalties. If the league wants to give any sort of penalty to the Raptors, it should mainly just be on Kawhi Leonard more than the actual Toronto franchise.
Okay, so my question with this whole thing, and this is more hypothetical than anything, this isn't based on facts, but is it a possibility that the league isn't going to do anything because this is already happening in other places throughout the league? And what I mean by that is, like, this is just an example, not saying this happened or anything like that, but what if Jalen Brunson, when he signed that contract, took the lower amount because under the table he got paid? Like, is there a possibility certain things like that is happening elsewhere to where you can't really punish the Clippers for what they did with Kawhi? Or do you think this is legitimately like just a Clipper issue.
Yeah, you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I mean, with the way that the NBA is being run now, I would not be surprised that it's not just the Clippers.
That's what I think too.
And with that being said, that doesn't mean the Clippers shouldn't be penalized. It just shows the incompetence of the NBA at this point. Like, why are we like what are these investigations? Why are we not keeping tabs on teams? Like, these teams and ownership are just walking around and just doing whatever, dude. Like, it's like Adam Silver and whoever else is with them at the top running the NBA, just they're just not keeping tabs, bro. I just don't understand. And the Kawhi thing, this whole thing only came out because I think it was another podcast or it was someone on another sports channel that literally came out and did research on Kawhi's contract and endorsements and found it. It wasn't even someone that I don't even think was a part of ESPN or anything like that. It was just, I mean, the person was known, but there was someone that came on a pod and talked about it, and then it gained leverage from there, and then finally the NBA realized, oh, we might actually have something. So if someone wouldn't have came out and spoken out about it, dude, this would never came out.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's possible that the league just would have kept it on hush if that never happened.
I mean, let's be real. What happened? I mean, we see what happened with the gambling stuff, dude. This past year. I mean, the whole like the gambling ring and stuff, dude. Like, the NBA was keeping that hush too, obviously, because they didn't do anything about it until the FBI got involved. Like, that's how deep it was, bro. The FBI finally got involved, and then the NBA was like, oh, we didn't know we had this problem. Like, come on, man. What do you mean you didn't know you had this problem? Who is running this league, man? Who is doing these investigations? Like, is no one just keeping tabs? Like, is no one looking at the information that is in front of you at the league office? Like, what is going on? Like, these are just not good looks, like, at all. Like, the gambling ring, this happening with the Clippers, like, it just keeps getting worse. You're getting a lot of teams that are tanking more and more as time goes on because teams know that all you're going to do is just find them. Like, it just keeps piling up, dude. It's actually insane.
And it's wild, too, like you were saying, how almost third-party people are finding out these things, because it's like, even with the Malik Beasley, Terry Rozier, all these scandals, like, shout out on YouTube, Mike Dadino, because he's been, like, putting it in ChatGPT, what are the games where the league is investigating, and ChatGPT will tell him, he goes to the game, and he, like, breaks it down, their actual play, like their highlights of the game, and it's pretty clear that's what.
Oh, Michael Beasley is super clear, bro. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you've seen some of Michael Beasley's plays, but they would always take like the over on rebounds, and there was one game where he went for a rebound at the end of a game, like he needed one more to hit the over. Dude, he ran in front of everybody, and they were already winning, dude. But dude ran in front of everybody to go grab that board. I forgot what game it was, but it was crazy. It was when he was on the Timberwolves. It was diabolical, bro.
I think there was another one as well where he had the over on points, and it was kind of one of those situations where you had to dribble out the clock, and he like full sprinted, quick dunk type of thing, and it's just stuff like that now that you know what he did, it's like, oh my goodness, this guy is not even just playing the game, but he's playing a totally different game as well. So it's very interesting. But we'll see what the league does with this Kawhi situation. My guess is nothing happens, but we'll see. You never know.
And I did look it up. The person who found out about it was Pablo Toro. I think I said his last name. I might have butchered it. Tora.
Pablo.
Yeah, he pretty sure he runs a podcast. Um, but yeah, dude, he broke the story back in September of like 2025.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out
And he's
Pablo.
and he's pretty known. He's I think he's on MSN or I don't know, man, but he's not like on ESPN or anything like that as far as I know. But yeah, this dude, like he still talks about it too, which respect to him, man, for staying to his guns. But it literally took a podcaster to get this story out, dude. It's insane. I just don't know what they're doing, man. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh wait, he's on a Pardon the Interruption, so he is on ESPN. My bad, but he has his own independent podcast that he runs. So, but he's the only one that talks about it, and on his podcast and on the ESPN show, Pardon the Interruption. I don't really watch that show a lot because what's his face is on that show. I don't know. I don't really like the people that are on there, but shout out to Pablo, dude. He's doing his job.